When Angad regained consciousness, the light above him burned white and merciless. A slow rumble of ceiling fans echoed somewhere in the background. He was lying inside a government hospital ward, surrounded by bare walls, the smell of antiseptic, and the hushed murmur of too many lives crammed into too little space. For several moments, he simply stared. He had no idea how he had arrived there. Then he felt it. His clothes were soaked, his body felt wrong, a rancid stench rose around him. The realization came immediately. During the collapse, he had lost control of his body. Feces soaked his clothes. Vomit had dried across his shirt. Shame settled heavily inside him. Two male nurses noticed that he was awake. They neither spoke, they neither reacted. They approached him with the indifference of men performing a routine task. One grabbed his shoulders, the other unfolded a rubbery mat. Moments later, they wrapped him inside it, then carried him through the corridor like discarded meat. Outside, a tin-roofed shed stood behind the wall. One of the nurses opened a hose. A brutal stream of water struck his body. Mud, vomit, feces, everything washed away together. His clothes disappeared. A coarse hospital sheet replaced them. By the time he was taken back inside, the floor had already been cleaned. Phenyl erased the earlier stench. The ward looked exactly as it had before. 5 minutes, perhaps less. The evidence of his collapse had vanished completely. As he sat on the bed, weak and disoriented, a woman approached him. Her face was round, her hair had been neatly oiled and tied back. A deep red bindi glowed at the center of her forehead. She was no longer young, yet something about her presence felt unshakably kind. Angad searched through fragments of memory, trying to place the face before him. The woman explained that she had found him unconscious near the sewage canal behind her house. People had gathered, people had watched, but nobody had helped. So she had brought him to the hospital herself. Her name was Balika. She had seen him before, near the theatre, near the railway settlement later. For a long time, she had assumed he was a thug. The appearance, the beard, the isolation, everything had pointed towards trouble. There had even been a day when fear made her walk away from the moment she saw him. Then the conversation shifted. Her daughter was gone, murdered near the railway tracks. The perpetrators remained at large. The investigation had gone nowhere. The grief remained. The questions remained. Yet, when she found Angad lying unconscious in the gutter, she had been unable to leave him there. The hospital expenses had been paid using the money found in his pocket. The remaining amount had gone towards medicines, food, and the effort of getting him cleaned up. Angad listened quietly, then nodded. The hospital walls began suffocating him soon afterwards. Before long, he signed the discharge papers, barely reading what was placed before him. By the time they reached the canal pipe, his fingers were already searching through his bag, looking for the stash, looking for escape. Balika watched silently. Her eyes carried neither judgment nor approval. The pipe smelled of mildew, rot, stagnant dampness. Years of neglect clung stubbornly to every surface. She stepped inside, looked around once, then walked straight back out. Several minutes later, she carried a broom, incense sticks, and a determination that seemed immune to argument. Dust appeared beneath swift strokes. Fresh air entered through the broken opening. The incense softened the smell. His dirty clothes vanished with her shortly afterwards. For the first time in years, the canal pipe looked almost habitable. The change filled Angad with unease rather than relief. An hour later, he wandered towards the railway tracks. The drugs had already begun wrapping themselves around his thoughts. Balika was there. His clothes lay drying beneath the grey Kolkata sky. When he returned, she handed him a broken shard of mirror. The reflection staring back felt unfamiliar. Long tangled hair, a beard reaching his chest, eyes drained by addiction, a face carrying the weight of too many unfinished battles. While Angad studied the reflection, Balika spoke about small things: curtains, a sleeping mat, a clean corner, a different life. Then her own story emerged. A village hundreds of kilometers away. A childhood without a father. A relative who promised opportunity. A city that delivered betrayal instead. She had been sold, drawn into prostitution while still a child. Years later, pregnant and desperate, she escaped. An elderly woman helped her survive. She learned tailoring, worked relentlessly, raised her daughter alone, protected every dream she could afford to protect. The two of them had lived in the same rented room for 5 years. She never married, never trusted men again. Then her daughter was taken from her too, murdered, leaving behind questions nobody could answer. Angad listened through the haze surrounding his mind. When his turn came, he revealed almost nothing. Only that he had come from somewhere else, only that things had gone terribly wrong, only that leaving had felt necessary. The rest remained buried. Balika did not press further. She did not demand explanations. She did not ask for his entire history. Outside, a train thundered across the tracks. Evening settled slowly over Kolkata. Inside the pipe, silence lingered comfortably between them. And somewhere within that silence, the possibility of a different beginning seemed almost real.
Where stories begin.